What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to paint a kitchen bench top to transform it from this into this. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's do this. Alright guys, so today I'm going to show you how to paint over a laminated bench top. Obviously this bench top here has seen better days. It's discolored all throughout and worn out. So we're going to freshen it up by simply painting it. I'll get into the products a little bit later on. Cooktop and oven have been removed to make it a bit easier, and they're also being replaced anyway. But here preparation is key. That's what you need to factor in first and foremost. Because we're using a painted product here, or a paint product on top of a laminated surface, we need to make sure that it's all nice and clean and it's going to be actually able to adhere to that surface. So if you've got a shiny bench top or glossy bench top, you want to sand that down using 400 grit sandpaper first to make sure that it's got something to actually bind to. Now this one here is pretty dull, so we don't have to sand it. We need to remove all the silicone around the edging. I've got most of this one here removed. Once again, sand that down once you're done to make sure that there's no silicone residue left on there, because paint doesn't stick to silicone. Now you can put masking tape around the areas if you like, if you're not confident in your brushwork, but once again, preparation is key here. We're going to follow what the manufacturer recommends. So what we're going to be using is some sugar soap. Now this sugar soap here is what the manufacturer recommends to clean and scrub all these bench tops down, and we want to do that because we want to make sure this is going to last as long as possible. You can see all the greasy marks right here. We need to get rid of all of that to make sure it's going to adhere perfectly. You can use a normal scourer or scrubbing brush onto the bench tops here to clean it all off. I want to get this done as quick as possible, so I've got my little scrubbing attachment on my drill, and we're going to go through this and quickly clean it. Now hopefully I don't have to record it and you guys can work out exactly how to scrub a bench top, and I'm just going to quickly scrub it, and I'll see you guys in a bit so that we can get straight into priming it. So I'll just show you guys how much of a difference cleaning makes. We've got a clean rag right here. We've just scrubbed this area here, and if we pick up all that water, residue that's left over, you can see there, all that grease and grime, dirt, whatever it is all coming up. So now that we've got the bench tops nice and clean, we're ready to get started on priming. The product that we're using here today is from Dulux. It's called the Renovations range. It's basically a range of paints that can be used to apply on top of a laminated surface and even your tiled surfaces as well. So this is a 3-stage system here for our bench tops. What we're doing is applying our primer first. Wait 4 hours, and we only need 1 coat of the primer. We wait 4 hours, then we can apply our top coat, which is our colored paint. We need 2 coats of this one here, and this one here needs 8 hours of dry time in between. Then right at the end, we can finish off with our clear coat, and then we're finally done. So it is a bit of a lengthy process, a bit of dry time in between coats. But we're going to start off with the primer. Only 1 coat is needed. With regards to the amount of rate that you're going to get, so square meterage, your coverage out of each one of these. This one here is a 1 litre tub or tin. I'm pretty sure it's 1 litre. It is 1 litre. And this one here will give you 12 square metres of coverage. So if you calculate your bench space, most bench tops will only need probably 1 tin for 2 coats, but just measure it, make sure that you've got 12 square meters or less so that you can use just 1 tin. If not, you're going to need 2. Now in terms of pricing, on average they're about $85 each, so $85, 85, 85, do the math. It's not too bad, to be 100% honest. For under $300 you can get everything done, including your roller and your brush. So when you apply the primer or the actual top coat to the floor, you want to use a 4mm nap roller. Make sure it's a good quality one. What I've done here, I'll save you guys a bit of money, teach you a trick. You pick up from the store a little value pack that comes with a tray, a roller frame, and also the actual roller sleeve or the cover itself. Cheap one for about $4. All I do is I simply take off the old sleeve because that's absolute garbage, throw it away, and then I put on a nice good quality 4mm nap roller. That's going to give you a nice smooth, perfect finish every single time. Make sure you don't go cheap on your roller itself. The frame and the tray, we can throw it once we're done, so I'm not too concerned about it, but make sure you get a good roller. Now when it comes to mixing our primer here, this comes in two components. If we open it up, you can see under the lid there, we've got a little tube here. We need to add the contents of this tube to the actual primer itself, and then we simply mix it for about 3 to 5 minutes. So we'll open up this one here, break the seal from the back, add our contents here. That surprisingly came out very nice and easy. You don't really have to squeeze that tube. So now that we got that done, we just simply mix it for about 3 to 5 minutes, according to the manufacturer's instructions. Smells nice, I can tell you guys that much. So just simply start off with a brush. Now this one here is clear, and we're going to cut it around the edges. It almost feels like PVA glue. And one of the other problems you're going to find is struggling to know where exactly you're up to, because it goes on 100% clear. So it makes it a little bit hard to see exactly where you've done and where you haven't done. So just be mindful of that. Go all the way around. We'll cut everything in, and then we'll come back and we'll roll it all in after that. So once the bench tops have all been primed, we'll let that sit for 4 hours. Then we can come back and start on our top coats. Now, with the color of the top coat that we've got here today, it's in Domino. If you like the color, that's great. If you don't like it, well, I didn't pick the color, so there's not much that I can do about it. But the upside is that this product can be tinted into thousands of different colors. So I'm sure there's something that you guys will like out there. We'll let this one here dry and come back for our top coat. So after 4 hours, the primer is now dry. Very hard to tell that there's actually a coating on here, so we're ready to start mixing up our paint and start applying it to our bench top. So we're going to do the exact same process for our actual top coat. Now this one here is in Domino. We're going to open it up. We've got two components once again. So we're going to pop this lid off here, add the component into it, and then we're going to stir it for 3 to 5 minutes again. So that's Domino right there. Once that's done, we can start cutting in with the brush and then roll everything through. So we'll start by cutting in all these edges. It helps to have a sash brush, which is the one that's cut on an angle. That way you can get in those corners nice and easy. And this product is actually pretty thick, especially if we compare it to the floor tile paint. Floor tile paint is a lot more flowy, probably not the best word for it, but it's the easiest way to describe it. The other one flows really nice. This one here is a bit thicker, or actually a lot thicker. So this one here is a bit harder. Still fairly easy, but it's harder than the floor paint, just to get that nice flow as you control the brush. That's looking pretty good. The coverage is unreal. Both the floor paint and this benchtop paint here, they both got very nice coverage. You pretty much get full coverage on your first coat. Once again, you can tape off the areas if you like. Just make sure that you use good quality masking tape. And also you'd like to remove the masking tape as soon as you finish that coat. Don't wait for it to dry, because if you wait for it to dry, it's going to bridge the paint across the masking tape, and there's a chance that you might actually damage your work. So the first coat is now complete, and honestly I'm very surprised, but this actually looks very, very nice. And this is just one coat. Look at the coverage, is absolutely unreal. I'm interested to see what's going to happen on a second coat, and then the bench tops also have a top coat, so that's going to make sure that it stays nice and durable for as long as possible. But this thing here is looking pretty good. Very happy with that. We'll leave this one here for about 8 hours or so, and then we'll come back, follow through with our second coat. So we're back now the following day. The bench top is now completely dry. We've got a really nice finish here. It actually feels really nice as well. It's pretty hard to tell that this is actually painted and not a laminate finish. Looking really good. If you do happen to find any bits and pieces in your paintwork, you can simply pick them out right now while it's still a bit fresh, or you can give it a light sand between our first and second coat. Everything's looking good here. I'm very happy with the way it's all turned out. Especially on a first coat, the coverage is unreal. Very, very nice coverage. We're going to repeat the exact same process now for a second coat. Let that dry for another 8 hours, and then we can come back and put our final clear coat on there. So we're back now the following day. Everything is nice and dry. The finish is honestly very, very nice. It feels like it's already finished now, and it doesn't really need a clear coat. However, the clear coat is simply going to allow it to be more durable by simply applying it. And it's the exact same process that we've done for our primer and also our top coat. So the clear coat is just an added clear layer on top. That's going to increase durability. But this paint here is honestly really nice. It feels pretty much finished as it is. And the texture that's left, it looks almost like genuine laminate. And once the clear coat's dry, this here is the finished product. It looks so much better than it originally did. Very easy, DIY friendly project. Probably the hardest thing about this whole project that you need to keep in mind and also factor in whether or not you want to do is the actual clear coat. The clear coat is very hard to work with, especially when you compare it to the primer and the paint. You get a perfect, very nice, consistent flow and finish. Everything comes out nice. That clear coat is a bit harder to work with. So just be prepared that you're gonna have to put in a little bit more effort. Make sure you've got a good quality roller, good quality brush. You move quick. Try lay off all your paint or your clear coat in this case to make sure that you get a nice perfect finish. But it is definitely achievable. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video and you've learned something new. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Bill's How To.